The wrestling is bad. The wrestling overall in WWE has gotten so unbearably bad.
The idea of going down as the greatest of all time is really important to me. There's something very special about being able to say that with having never worked there.
This bloodline stuff is pretty terrible, man. I feel like I was the last one holding out on hating on it, but it's so boring.
I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of WWE ruining every single thing that we love.
So it seems like people have reached their breaking point and are finally starting to speak out against what's really happening in WWE and are slowly starting to choose AEW. And honestly, I think everyone knows exactly why. Before we begin, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another upload.
I believe that you are cursed. I believe that you...
Alright, man. Is it me, or are we reaching 2019 levels again with this company, bro? Like, after this whole one segment, I just questioned to myself, like, was 2019 WWE really that bad? Was it really that bad compared to all of this we're getting this year?
I don't know why everybody has their britches in a bunch over Conrad Thompson's comments about Roman Reigns possibly being the most overrated main eventer of all time. If anything, I think this shit is worth dissecting. See, a lot of y'all believe just because WWE pushes this man more than anybody else in wrestling history, then he's the undisputed greatest of all time. Serious question though, and this is no disrespect to dude, but what makes him as good as y'all claim that he is? I bet 99.999% of y'all can't name anything outside of the bloodline. The past quote-unquote faces of the company were actually known for something. Stone Cold Steve Austin was known for being a tough, rule-breaking motherfucker that ain't take shit from nobody. Shit, John Cena known for hustle, loyalty, and respect. Regardless of how you felt about dude, you knew that he was going to show up every day and go 100 every single time. When it comes to Roman, what's his shit? Y'all like him because he's a pretty motherfucker with good teeth? Is his shit being the face of part-time wrestling? If anything, that should be a blemish on his legacy because he really has a whole ass generation out here defending his part-time status. How you a real fan and okay with the fact that this man only wrestles 4 times a year? How you hold the name of flag bearer for the company, but you ain't even wrestled on the flagship show in almost 600 days. At the end of the day, y'all can have y'all opinion. Because regardless of how good you think Roman Reigns is, he just doesn't measure up to the actual goats of professional wrestling. And if that makes you upset, then you already know that I just don't give a...
The idea of going down as the greatest of all time is really important to me. There's something very special about being able to say that with having never worked there.
How close did it get to you leaving?
Just like I told you last time, you know, pretty close.
Was it tough?
Was it tough? No.
Really?
No.
How come?
My worth was built because of the legacy that I'm building in AEW, right? There is something very enchanting to me, no matter how much money did or does or will gets thrown at me. And trust me, it was a lot, hypothetically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It was a fucking lot, hypothetically. It doesn't matter because I care about my legacy more than anything, as I discussed on TV, which is why I cannot get my head shaved this Sunday, because that's a part of my legacy is my hair.
Of course.
The idea of going down as the greatest of all time is really important to me. And I also think that there's something very special about being able to say that with having never worked there. I think that that's really cool. As you know, Mount Rushmore has how many heads? 4. My goal is to be that 4th head. And if I could pull that off on my name alone and the legacy that I built on my own back, not from a machine, just the Maxwell machine, I think it would feel all the more sweeter.
Obviously, I work for AEW. I'm very biased. Tony Khan's been great to me, especially since my health has been kind of kicking me in the ass a little bit. I listened the other day to maybe when was it?
Busted Open.
Yeah, and it's all about WWE, everything.
Yeah,
everything. And I don't know how they get by with that. If you're a good producer and you get more than one thing to talk about, then talk about it. But this is certainly kind of head scratcher to me that it's it's just turned into a WWE infomercial. And I don't have a problem with that, but spread the wealth around a little bit. But there's more than one wrestling company in the world that has some significance. So anyway.
This bloodline stuff is pretty terrible, man. I feel like I was the last one holding out on hating on it, but it's so boring. We're just repeating the same stories over and over again with the same characters, and we're just spinning our wheels, dude. Jacob Fatu stands out enough, but they've nerfed him so many times, it's really hard to take him seriously and buy into him. Right now, as we've been seeing on TV, there's current tensions between the Usos and Roman and Jacob, with Roman kind of preferring or choosing Jacob. So I have some interest in that. Like I said, Jacob being the new right-hand man, the chosen one, getting like his own Ula Fala. Jacob refusing to acknowledge Jimmy or Jay, only acknowledging Roman. So we'll see how those tensions kind of increase and what that leads to. I also like Jay's character right now. How he's kind of too much of a hothead for his own good, and that's going to get him in trouble. So again, we'll see how that goes. But like, I feel like I'm grasping at straws a little bit. I want to see Big Jim do something, dude. Big Jim's been booked pretty lame. So what's going to come of this? Maybe like a tag team split between Roman and Jacob versus the Usos. Some more inner turmoil there. Maybe. I doubt they pull the trigger on that. Like, why? Maybe Jacob builds himself back up again and turns on Roman again. Maybe Jay builds himself up again. Oh, I don't like how you've been choosing Jacob. I used to be the right-hand man. Maybe that's the direction. Oh my God, I'm putting myself to sleep. Now listen, at the end of the day, I'm still a sucker. I will 100% buy in to the idea of The Rock versus Roman Reigns. If they somehow tie all this in, this is the end goal. But honestly, I'm tired of fantasy booking that. So if it's the end goal, fine. If it's not, whatever. I don't know. I'm pretty bored of this bloodline stuff. What do you think?
The wrestling is bad. The wrestling overall in WWE has gotten so unbearably bad because they stopped doing house shows. And since they stopped doing house shows, the wrestlers don't perform as good because they don't get their reps in. It doesn't look as crisp. It looks weak. It looks like they're going through the motion. And I hate that.
Kevin Knight is everything Carmelo Hayes could be and should be in professional wrestling today. If you look at the push Kevin has received this year, he's won the TNT title. He holds the record for the most title defenses. He has beaten 2 former world champions in MJF and Darby Allin. And he just main evented his first pay-per-view last night at AEW Redemption against one of the greatest of all time in Kenny Omega. All of this within a span of 7 months. Carmelo Hayes has been on the main roster for 2 years, and all that he has to show for it is a US title win and an Andre the Giant Battle Royal trophy. Very underwhelming for a guy who I believe has everything that you need to be a major player in this game. If Kevin Knight continues on this trajectory, within a matter of 2 years, he'll more than likely be world champion and a main event star in AEW. While Carmelo Hayes will still be fighting for scraps, trying to find his first win in a premium live event. Which there is a glaring difference. Kevin Knight has more pay-per-view appearances this year in 2026 than Carmelo Hayes has had his entire 2 years on the main roster. This isn't a video stating Carmelo Hayes should come to AEW because honestly that would be unfair to all the other promotions like MLW, MLP, TNA, or even New Japan that could benefit from having a Carmelo Hayes on their roster. I'm just of the belief that Carmelo Hayes should be further along in his career given his status coming out of NXT as one of the best that we've seen in years. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Put it in the comments. Also make sure you like, share, and follow me for more wrestling content.
I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of WWE ruining every single thing that we love. We had a perfect emotional storyline set up between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. The end of the Shield. It should have just been that. Where was the third member of the Shield? It wasn't that hard. Where was the third member? Someone tell me where Triple H was.
Oh, fuck no. WWE, y'all can't even get the fucking renders right? What the fuck is this? What the fuck does human monies on a pole mean? How is this a match at SummerSlam? And a guy like Carmelo Hayes has nothing at SummerSlam. If your name is not The Rock, live concerts in WWE should be fucking done. Whoever wrote this shit needs to be fucking fired. Gotta burn that bitch to the ground, bro. I'm not lying. Everything about WWE right now is fucking horrendous. Theme songs suck. Storylines aren't really that interesting. Matches we're getting make no fucking sense and nobody asked for this. They can't even get a fucking render down right. Now, this company is not fucking exciting. And we're less than a week away from SummerSlam.
Guys, I've been done with WWE for quite a while now, probably for about a year. I've been a fan of WWE for the last 25 years. And I'm 27. So I feel like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to professional wrestling. The reason why I fell out of love with WWE is because of shows like tonight. SummerSlam tonight was fucking dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And a complete waste of my time. And the match quality, everything that you see from the production value is just not there. It is absolutely shocking to to see where this company is. I grew up in an era during the Ruthless Aggression era and the Attitude era, where the wrestling quality was intense, in your face, well choreographed, and I believed everything that was happening in the ring. Yes, it's scripted entertainment. We all know that. But I don't believe a fucking thing that's happening in this company anymore. And the truth is, I don't want to. I felt like I was done after WrestleMania because we've had 2 terrible WrestleManias in a row. And after watching SummerSlam, I'm done. I just am. The company's not for me anymore. You got fucking Dan Houser being promoted so heavily on shows, and you've got grown-ass men, and I mean grown-ass fucking men, buying his merch, wearing his fucking tops, buying all his action figures. I mean, fucking hell. I mean, fucking embarrassment. So, yeah, I watched that show on Netflix tonight, and it bored the fucking shit out of me. The women's matches on the show were fucking terrible. Don't care what anyone tells me, okay? You can gloat all you want about women's wrestling. It's still overrated to me. It's nowhere near the level that it should be. And the men's wrestling as well, even in modern day, is crap. It's terrible. Nothing looks believable. So, I'm done, guys. So, Triple H, TKO, you're fucking useless.
There's a report going around that WWE higher-ups aren't impressed with Sol Ruka's in-ring work. Now, it could be true, it could be false, who knows? But Sol Ruka, since coming to the main roster, has been botching a lot. And I mean a lot. I don't know what the hell's going on, but she was still gifted an IC championship reign. Still gifted that. Even though she's been messing up a lot. I meant what I said in that video I made about Sol Ruka a couple months back. I said that Sol Ruka is a one-trick pony. And all she does is just tricks and flips and dives. She's athletic. And I said her Soul Snatcher is probably my favorite finisher in pro wrestling today. You know, it's a very good finisher. But what else does Sol Ruka have to her? A lot of you guys are saying, oh, you're hating. Everybody loves to say, oh, you're hating. No, it's my personal opinion. And I feel like it's facts. Sol Ruka, what's her character? What's her personality? You know, where's the mic skills at? Eventually, that's going to have to come into play. And just being an in-ring worker is not going to take you far. Look at Ilya Dragunov, you know? Like, mainly just in-ring work. That's not going to take you anywhere. You don't have a personality. You don't have a gimmick. You don't even cut promos. So it's just like, yeah, that's why I called her a one-trick pony. That's why I said Sol Ruka's a one-trick pony. She needs to develop more. I didn't say she sucked. A lot of people say, oh, you said she sucked. No, I didn't say she sucked. She's good in the ring, you know? She's been messing up a lot lately, but she can deliver a good match. I've seen it a couple times, but she doesn't have a personality. She doesn't even cut promos. And when she does, the promos aren't even good. You know, it's like she needs to develop more. You know, I'm not too sure. Like I said, that could be false. It could be true about them not being impressed with her in-ring work. But my take still stands on Sol Ruka. I need to see more from her. You know, she's going to stand out more if she wants to get a world championship. If her fans want to see her in the main event scene, she needs to step it up. As a character worker and as a mic worker, everything. You know, you can't just be an in-ring worker and just be gifted a world championship. The standards are low nowadays. Oh, because you could put on a 5-star match, that means you could be a world champion? Please. Please. The standards are very low.
Hurst Helmsley, the doofus son-in-law himself, a.k.a. Triple H, decided to curse his own fan base by giving them the most horrific go-home show to a PLE that we have ever witnessed. I'm sure that people from Busted Open, Dave LaGreca, Bubba Ray Dudley, Mark Henry, were all so excited to over-embellish to all of you how great this show was last night. Say what you want about me as a content creator, as a podcaster, if I'm too harsh or negative, if you agree with things that I say and then you disagree with some things that I say, fine. But you know what I am? I am consistent. Brian, my co-host, is very consistent when it comes to us talking about how horrific this product has been for a very long time. As a fan, you want to get so excited because it's SummerSlam, right? Their second biggest show, arguably, of their entire calendar year. And as a fan, you want to get excited. You want to feel that energy and electricity and amplification. The only problem is that this company refuses to give it right back to the audience. Because last night, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call this company flat out giving up. They pulled a John Cena at Saturday night's main event and they tapped the fuck out. And even before the show even hits the airways, you knew, just looking at what was in store on the show, you knew it was gonna suck. Are you shocked of the fact that a go-home show was this awful last night? Of course you're not. But at the same time, man, you can't help but be in such disbelief that this stuff that was aired on the airwave on Netflix for the entire world to see actually was approved.
All right, car rant time before I go into the gym. Watched SummerSlam last night, night one, and it's just, wrestling doesn't hit the same like it used to, man. They promoted this main event between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar as one of the more violent and just crazy Hell in a Cell matches you're ever going to see in your lifetime. They didn't even use the cell once, and the match went 11 minutes. Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. There was no blood. There was no objects being broken. All they did was rip the tarp up from underneath the floor and just have one spot there, and that was it. And these are one of the biggest guys in the fucking company right now, and you're telling me there's just not extreme destruction and blood and these two guys just beating the shit out of each other? Basically, it just felt like false advertising. And it just goes to show how the product in WWE fucking sucks. It's fucking terrible, and I don't see it getting any better. I just don't see that. It's just shameless advertising. No build to matches. They just throw shit together with no story, and then you're supposed to get behind it. And they wonder why ticket sales, they had to drop them as low as $25, and they still didn't even see a difference in ticket sales. It's because I feel like wrestling fans are starting to wake up. They're starting to realize that WWE is a bunch of fucking scam artists. They don't know how to tell stories. They just love pushing their fucking ads and celebrities and all this other bullshit, and just not actually putting out a good product. And I hope the fans continue to do this, because they need a change of scenery in WWE. You need to get rid of Triple H. You need to get rid of fucking Bruce Pritchard and Michael Hayes. I don't know why the fuck they still have jobs. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And it's disappointing that I remember back when WrestleMania was around, I said my love for wrestling was slowly dying. I think it's dead after this. I'm going to watch tonight, and then literally I think this is it for me until I see some sort of change. Because not even bringing Randy Orton back, who's one of my favorites, got my intrigue. Not even bringing back Kevin Owens will bring my intrigue. Hell, even bringing back The Rock won't even bring back my intrigue. Just nothing will.